one. And hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Black Knight of Hello Dope Toys. With me is my co-host, the one and only Mr. Wonderful, aka Mr. Hexastack. We are part of the he kicked out podcast. And we're going to bring you the prediction card for SummerSlam, which is coming up right here in Cleveland, Ohio. As I'm in Columbus. So that's a nice little hop, skip, and a jump. I'm not going, though.
Oh, man.
I want to go, though. It's going to be awesome. My son keeps asking, like, hey, are we going to the show? I'm like,
not this time, son. Not this time.
But before we get into these cards, just a quick little update about the channel and what the future plans are. We are going to bring you pseudo-weekly updates about news, releases, signings, what's going on in all of wrestling, not just WWE, but AEW, New Japan, CCML, you name it, we're going to bring you news about it. But we're also going to go back into the history. The Monday Night Wars, we're going to talk about the Montreal Screwjob. Whatever it is that you guys want to talk about, this is the wrestling channel for the people, by the people. But you guys are here for one thing and one thing only, and that is to hear what we think about SummerSlam this Saturday.
SummerSlam? What's SummerSlam?
SummerSlam.
What is SummerSlam?
Super slow. Oh, wait.
No, yeah, man, definitely. For those that don't know me, right, and you're just coming along this, right? I'm Travis, aka MrWundrful. Actually spent years doing independent wrestling early on at the early 2000s. So I don't want to say I'm smart to the business, but I definitely have some insight and have shared the ring with some of the Hall of Fame greats and, had the benefit of jumping on the back of a King Kong Bundy back in the year 2005 and sharing a locker room with folks like, the Brody Lee and whatnot. So definitely, I just wrapped up a show for my counterpart with Axion Figs over there on Toy Elite, and we talked about wrestling action figures and over the decades and action figures over the decades. And for me, it was every year was wrestling. So that's my passion. I love wrestling. So I can talk for hours about it. And you can see over in your room there, Aaron, Black Knight, you've got all of those WWE figures back there. I'm still disappointed that they're boxed up, but hey, nonetheless, we're here for SummerSlam.
Hey, they're right there. They're just not all out.
Oh, I couldn't see them. It was hard to see because the way they kind of lined up with the package art. Awesome.
But yeah, we'll get all that situated throughout the year. But these people want to know what we think about this match card. So let's go ahead and bring this up. Like I said, SummerSlam in Cleveland, Ohio, this Saturday, August 3rd on Peacock for all you Peacock subscribers out there. So, it's a loaded card from, what I've noticed. I've been playing catch up because the last couple of weeks I've been working, so I haven't been able to watch. But I am up through yesterday's episode of Monday Night Raw, so I'm ready, man. Let's just get to it. Let's get straight into it. What's the first match?
So the first match, right? This got set up live. It's been ongoing, right? Because this is pickup SummerSlam. Just finished up Money in the Bank. They've had about 3-4 weeks since then, right? We're getting ready to go into SummerSlam, and on Friday night, I think it was last week, they set up that number one contender match with the Bloodline, the new brother tag team from the Bloodline, to go against Johnny Wrestling and Tommy C right there, right? So DIY. So that's the first one we have up. Black Knight, what are your thoughts here?
To me, this is NXT all over again. With Ciampa and Gargano, holding tag team gold. This is in Johnny's backyard. Being from Cleveland, this is going to be a great homecoming for him. Unfortunately, this all leads to, the Guerrillas of Warfare or whatever they want to name their tag team here. They're coming out with the titles here. It sucks that it has to be in Cleveland, but you got to build the bloodline strong. And the only way to do that is for them to hold some titles. And the best titles for them to grab right now are the tag team titles, and they have just been causing havoc. So I do see, God walking out with the new WWE Tag Team Champions, unfortunately, in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, and to kind of like payback off that, right? Like, well, we know that at was it? I think it was WrestleMania. Yeah, so they split the titles. They split the titles that the Usos, the original Bloodline members, had for so long. New what is it called? Judgment Day held them for a while, right? And then what they ended up doing is they threw them up on the ladder match at WrestleMania. They split the titles out. You saw R-Truth and Miz walk away, and then you saw A-Town Down get it, and then you saw A-Town Down, Austin Theory and what's the guy's name? I always forget.
Grayson Waller.
Thank you, Waller. There, you saw them on SmackDown. You kind of saw the titles floating around for a minute. So, you've got Triple H's love of Tommy C over there, or as R-Truth calls him, Triple H, DIY. He's been a pet project of them from NXT for a long time. You saw them get a hold of the tag titles. I love their talent. I love what they do. But right now, the Bloodline needs some gold. Yeah. And we'll talk more about some gold they'll be chasing later. But these guys have come in like a hot commodity. They've just been dominating guys. And really, we need to see the future matchup where it's, we know where this is going. I mean, I assume I know where this is going. It's going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline at some point, and you need to put the straps on the new tag team brothers of the Bloodline. So I agree with you. I think Tama Tonga and Toa Lealoa, I think they're going to Bloodline's walking away with the straps, and I think they do it in dominant fashion. Absolutely. And likely have some interference from Jacob Fatu to help them.
I don't know. I don't see any interference in this one. I think they take these clean. You're going to see some great spots from Johnny Gargano. Like I said, he's going to show off for the home crowd.
Okay.
I think they win this clean.
Really. See, that'll be interesting. I really think it's going to be. I think Jacob Fatu is going to have an appearance at ringside, and I think there's a strong chance that because it's the hometown crowd, that you give a little screw job finish there to the titles, putting it on the Bloodline, giving them more of that criminal. Because Paul Heyman, going back a few month or whatever ago before he got put through the table, he was all about these guys are dangerous, they're monsters, they're thugs, whatever else he was saying about them. I think that you keep that dirty, nasty, violent streak that the Bloodline has had with Jacob Fatu, and you put the titles on these guys to make them look strong and dominant, while giving the DIY the ability to feel like, we were screwed over. Gives them a little bit of chase until you set up that Uso Bloodline matchup. That's my thought. But either way, I think we both have the same outcome.
Yeah, I mean, I can maybe see Jacob getting involved, but like I said, I mean, I see it clean. Like you want to show dominance, you do it. You let them win. Like no interference. It's just a straight 2-on-2, and you see them just take it all.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it would be a great matchup. I think you've got 4 talented individuals, two guys that have kind of been floating around for a while. Haven't seen much with the titles out of them, but you have 2, hot pieces that have come in really strong since Mania when Roman dropped the belt. So, as a huge fan of tag team wrestling, I'm looking forward to this match. Might be actually one of my favorites. So when I heard that listed, I was really excited.
I mean, this match can single-handedly steal the show.
Absolutely. 4 really talented individuals for sure.
Awesome. Right, so what we got next on the card, man?
The next one is one of the women's matches here. So you have Bayley versus the defending champion versus Nia Jax, who is also the most recent Queen of the Ring, right?
Yes.
So Queen of the Ring versus Bayley.
Now, you want to talk about a screwy finish? This is where I see one of them. And if you saw, I want to say, was it maybe 3 weeks ago, where Tiffany Stratton almost cashed in, or made it look like she showed that she was going to cash in, and then Nia's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" So, as dominant as Nia Jax is, and I really don't like how they've really been doing the King and Queen of the Ring. Like, this should be kind of like a Money in the Bank situation for them. Like, that should be the momentum that says, "Hey, I'm winning the title here."
Yep.
But I see Bayley holding on, and she's going to win. But not after Nia Jax really puts some boots to some asses, But I really do see. I think Tiffany's going to come down with that Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't know if she'll cash in though. I want to say that she will, but I think Nia Jax stops her.
So who wins?
Oh, well, the match, Bayley wins the match.
Okay.
But she's going to get beat the hell up.
Yep. So I think you and I are 100% on the same page here, and this isn't me reading any spoilers.
We can't be having this. We can't be going 2 for 2 here.
I first show right out of the gate. Like you and I are in sync here, man. We're sipping from the same "what you sipping on" cup, right? So like, the way I'm looking at this is very much the same. But I have a little bit of a difference of opinion as to why. I know they teased the cash in a couple weeks ago or whatever. My thought is that there's no way the Money in the Bank gets cashed in this week, like officially. Like they might tease it, they might do it, but she's gonna pull it back. She'll walk out with the Money in the Bank briefcase, because if you close it in, if you cash it out now, you already had Drew cash in. You need that thing hanging around. Otherwise, what was Money in the Bank, right? So I truly believe that they cannot cash it in that quick, because they need to keep some briefcase floating around for a few more months at minimum. So I think she will come out like you're saying. I think Nia is going to dominate Bayley. Then I think you're going to have a situation where somehow Bayley gets, an upper hand for a second, and then, Nia, gets banged down, knocked out, something like that, right? And you're going to have Tiffy Time come out, think she's going to cash in. Bayley's going to get on the defense, or Nia's going to stand up, and then it's going to be like, no, stay out of it. And she's going to recoil on that a little bit, but it's going to be enough of a distraction to Nia that Bayley's going to be able to get the screw job win on it, setting up some, fighting between Nia and Tiffy Time down the line to hopefully set Tiffy up as a more a stronger, fighter against Bayley in the future. That's how I perceive it's going to happen. I don't think there's any other way to put it across.
I mean, the other way I can look at this is, if you want to go with just the ultimate what if, this would be a perfect time also for Charlotte to return. And that would be more of like you were saying, Tiffany's coming, like she's got that briefcase, she's threatening to cash it in, but Charlotte comes and stops her. Because they're still the 4 horsewomen.
Yep.
You can't get rid of that no matter what. Which then you can lead to like a Tiffany Stratton Charlotte match, which I think this is the point where Charlotte would let Tiffany take the win, like to build her up more.
Yeah, I could very much see that happening.
Which then kind of goes back to what you were going to say, now you're building Tiffany Stratton as a much more stronger contender to Bayley, with or without the briefcase.
Yeah.
And then, we could maybe see something happen, maybe towards Survivor Series or something.
Absolutely. Either way, I think whatever happens, that briefcase being presented during that match is an absolute expectation. I do not think it gets fully cashed in, meaning I don't think Tiffy loses it. And what I think is whatever combination of interference and distraction, maybe better yet, is going to be what cost Nia the match, because I think Bayley's going to get beaten the crap out of, and whether it's a Charlotte Tiffy combination of distraction, Nia is going to be able to hang her hat on the fact that she didn't lose the match. She dominated the match as the queen of the ring, and Tiffy and some combination of potentially Charlotte is what cost her to be distracted long enough for Bayley to sneak out the champ.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement once again that Bayley walks out still your women's champion.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, 2 for 2 then. Let's see what number 3 goes.
Ooh. Logan Paul, the champion, the U.S. champion versus L.A. Knight.
Ooh. Oh man, sorry. This is damn. So
you want me to go first since you went first?
Yeah, you gotta go first for this one, man.
Yeah, let's rotate. That way we're not just feeding off each other. I'm going to tell you right now, as someone who is a former wrestler and knowing how hard it is to get in there and learn how to do that stuff, watching Logan Paul do what he's done over the course of the last couple of years, he looks the part. He does it all. Does he slip up sometimes? Absolutely. But for a guy who's been doing it as long as he has, I love watching him come on TV. I love watching him do what he does.
I hate to admit it, but yeah.
the Rock Austin wannabe, LA Knight, I'm not a fan of. I just recently saw that they announced the Ultimate action figure. I'm like, this guy's not even worthy of a basic figure in my book. That said, I'm not an LA Knight fan. I'm going Logan Paul all day. I want to see him crack him in the face with some brass knuckles. I want to see him hold on to that title. I want to see how far he can go. Though it wouldn't shock me if they somehow put LA Knight over, but I still think Paul walks away with the title.
This one's where we differ, man. This is where we differ right here.
I think the point, before you go there, I think my point is with LA Knight, I think another loss here hurts him tremendously because he continues to float around that upper echelon, but never walks away with the win. So I feel like this can go out a little bit longer between the two of them. But I think Paul's going to win. But if he doesn't win, he's still going to be the champion at the end of the night. That's my prediction there.
So I have grown to love Logan Paul. Like all his spots that he's done since he entered the ring. He is by far very athletic. He can talk on the mic. He hits all the check marks that you want from a guy who has not been a trained professional wrestler. Okay. But like he said, it's all or nothing now for LA Knight. I feel he has to win this. Like while Logan Paul with the US Championship gives a little pizzazz, gives a little something extra to the title. He doesn't need the title. Like he himself brings more to the table. The belt just kind of makes it shine a little bit more. And plus, this can put Logan Paul in really anything else you want him to do. He's a main event star who's not a main event star. I mean, you saw the match that he did at Crown Jewel with Roman. I mean, the man can carry. But I think this is where Logan Paul drops the title. LA Knight needs it. He needs it. One, to justify that he is a megastar, that he can still do what he needs to do. And I mean, if he loses here, you might as well just quit. You're not going to get into a main event spot unless something drastic happens.
Yeah.
Like you're stuck. Unless maybe you go to Raw and then they kind of repackage you on Raw, and then then you're in the Intercontinental fight and hoping to get into that world title match. I just don't see another loss here. He's taken too many. The back and forth banter between him and Logan Paul has been top notch. I think LA Knight has Logan Paul's number, but Logan Paul ain't going out without a fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's my take. I mean, I agree with everything you said there. I think Logan Paul. I don't want Logan Paul not to walk away with the title because I don't know what happens to Logan Paul after that. I don't know that there's a place I see him in that adds like that we see him do anything like. This is the perfect spot for him right now. He's not main event world title guy yet, so I don't think he loses the title. And I predict this feud isn't over. I feel there's still some.
But you can only go so far before this. But I mean, a lot of people are saying like the Bloodline story is getting stale. Even the repackaged version of it, it's still the same story. Like you can only tell this story so many times between LA Knight and Logan Paul now.
Yeah, but how many times have they really went against each other in that state for the US title? They've had a couple triple threats to earn themselves into different matches and stuff. I think LA needs this. I don't know what Paul does without this. I think Paul walks away with the title, and I think we see a bigger blow-off match at Bad Blood. And I hope to God it's a ladder match between these two guys where then you can put LA Knight over and you can have Logan have an amazing blow off, take a little bit of a break and then come back and they can do some other stuff. I see Razor HBK ladder match between these two guys like at Bad Blood being an amazing matchup. Just my thoughts. But I think I'm gonna take you one further. I mean, while ladder match seems good, look at Logan Paul's track record when it comes to him
in matches that aren't like super big profile. He's always had somebody ringside. How do you stop that from happening? I see him in a cage match.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. I think, I wouldn't, that could definitely be the way they go. I'm interested. I think Bad Blood is where this title moves hands, but I think I want Paul to win. I think Paul wins, but I think, like you're saying, that LA Knight needs it more to not just fade out, because if he loses this, he's taking that dying fade like we've seen from Sami Zayn earlier on in his WWE career, or Kevin Owens earlier on in his career, right? Where it seemed like they were on this huge up trajectory and then just boom, flatline for a little bit. And obviously they came back, right? But LA Knight's older. He needs the win. I agree with you. I still think Paul walks out the champ. So I have to take Paul for the win. So we're against each other here. But I think the blow off's at Bad Blood.
Like I say, I still think it changes here. I still see maybe a repeat at Bad Blood, but that's where Logan Paul takes his hiatus.
Yeah.
But LA Knight goes in as champion. But I guess we're gonna see.
Yeah.
One of us is gonna be right, and the other one's gotta be wrong.
Exactly.
So, for anybody that's keeping track right now, that is a 2-1. So the streak has been broken.
Yep.
Well, let's get to the next one. What we got?
So the next one actually kind of plays into the reason I say what I said.
Oh yeah, no.
We got Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker.
No.
They went against each other in an amazing match at Money in the Bank for the Intercontinental title. I was at Money in the Bank in person, and I am shocked that they didn't let Braun Breaker walk away with the Intercontinental title at that point. So we come to SummerSlam. We come a month later. You still got the belts on Zayn, and you got Braun Breaker, who has been nothing short of one of the most impressive athletes to enter the WWE in some time, in my opinion, right?
I mean, this man runs so fast. He moved the ring, bouncing off the ropes, okay?
Yep.
Like, this man, like, he is truly the embodiment of his father and his uncle.
Oh.
As one body.
Yes. He is everything that tag team would have been if they were one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say that we're in agreement right here. Breaker takes the title.
Yep. 100% agree. Breaker is taking this belt. Zayn is moving on to bigger and better things. And, Zayn can carry over the fact that he beat, Walter or Gunther. Yeah, Gunther. And, Braun is going to take that title from him. I think Braun is, he's a rocket right up underneath his, backside and to the moon. I mean, he smells and reeks of a Brock and a Bill Goldberg with more talent. Still need to see the microphone, but as far as physical ability in the ring, he's right up there with the best of them as far as doing what he does in his body and what he needs to do. He's walking away with their Intercontinental title, which is another reason I don't think Paul loses the United States title. I don't think you move both mid-title straps in the same night. I don't think it happens. That is part of the reason I picked Paul to walk out with the title still.
I just can't. I can't. I mean, I can swallow the pill of both mid cards being swapped better than both main titles being swapped.
Oh, we'll get there. There.
Oh, don't worry. I got something saved for that one.
That's good.
But no, Braun Breaker is the future right now. And putting the strap on him, you have now opened up an entirely brand new list of names that he can face.
Oh, yeah.
So I agree with you 100%. While the match at Money in the Bank was great, Braun Breaker is about to take this title to places that no one has seen before.
And I'm gonna go as far as saying he's winning the Intercontinental title. We're in agreement of that. And I'm gonna go as far as saying that when we're talking about SummerSlam 2025, if we're not talking about main event for a title match at that point, I would be extremely shocked. I believe he will be in the main event picture by SummerSlam next year. And I think this is his launching point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is a no-brainer in my opinion. And if by some odd chance that he's not, like I said, then he's holding this, he's going to break several reign titles with this. Like, he's going to hold it for a while. Like, undoubtedly.
I mean, I think he's going to hold it for a while. The only reason I would see him dropping is because he's literally going to vacate it like I thought Gunther should do and go after the world title. Like, that's the only reason I think it happens.
No, I say he wins the world title with the Intercontinental.
Oh, if he Goldbergs it, man, I will.
There was an interview that I was watching with Goldberg where he's basically endorsing Braun Breaker as
the guy,
the better version of him.
Yep. It was like in the last 24 hours, I saw something on the internet about that. Yep. Absolutely.
So, I mean, yeah, I would love to see it happen that way. It hasn't happened in a while. It makes sense if you're going to book it that way. Let it run.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody going to complain about it. If they can book the stories right, they can make him look strong and carry it all the way through. Double champion, and then he vacates it, and then he just focuses on the world title.
Well, and there's a couple facets behind this that you got to consider. He's young, but he's also, in my opinion, the embodiment of the transition from prior leadership to the current leadership, in the same sense that the Shield and the Wyatt family was the embodiment of Triple H taking over NXT, and they were like his stamp of NXT and then coming to the WWE, right? So coming to the main stage. So I look at Braun as really that transition. And I mean, if you go back to even back at Rumble, when he came into the Rumble, there was talk he was taking over for Brock for all of that backdoor concerns and issues that were being reported at that time. So to me, like, if you're like, this is the guy, they're looking for that new face of the company, for the long term. He's young, he's physical, he can dominate. I think you start building that rocket. If he's the next Goldberg, drive, his talent's there. I feel more confident that he's not going to put Bret Hart on the shelf for 40 years of complaining than anybody else. So yeah, I'm definitely behind Braun on this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, this is like the easy slam dunk.
Yeah.
If anything other than that outcome happens, then you're gonna have the internet going wild. Like, is if any of our predictions on this show is wrong, this is the only right.
This can't be.
This is the only right.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Going back to Money in the Bank when I was there, I expected Braun to win the title in Canada, in Zayn's hometown. I expected him to walk away with the title because you want to put that heel heat on Braun. I was shocked they didn't do it then. I would be appalled if they don't do it now.
Yeah, it has not. It's definitely happening.
Absolutely.
Like I said, you can't wait another pay-per-view. Like, this is the now.
For sure.
Done.
Awesome. Stamp of approval. 1, 2. Sammy ain't kicking out.
Oh no, he done. One spear and he's out.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I think they'll give him a little bit more than that, but he's gonna take a couple hits and he's not gonna be able to stand up after it. So Awesome. I think next up is another title match. I mean, we're loaded with title matches this month.
Let me
Liv
tell
Morgan.
Let me tell
versus Mommy.
First off, glad to have Mommy back. Like, she just brings that something, but the little vignette from Liv Morgan this past Monday, this is the Liv Morgan that we need to see more often. Like that, the screws are just not tight enough. The light bulb's on, but it's just flickering a lot.
Crazy Barbie.
Yes.
Crazy Barbie.
She reminds me of like the Harley Quinn from of Margot Robbie.
Yeah. I mean,
and this is perfect.
I would have thought she was going to end up in the Wyatt 6, to be honest, because she's got that. I know they got the Alexa Bliss and like all that, but like she got that creepy. But I think there's a lot to be had here. And honestly, I'm happy, like you said, I'm happy to have Rhea back. Largely, I felt she got a bad break because of the Mania, right? She did Mania, then the next night she's got like a week later, she's vacating it, she's injured, all that shock and stuff. Couldn't happen to someone, in such a pivotal role right now. That definitely, I think, swerved a lot of things for the Judgment Day and her progression. But it gave Liv a chance, and they played off the storyline, so it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been paying attention to, Triple H likes to tell long-term stories.
Okay? Oh, love it.
And if you've been paying attention, Liv with Finn, had the Too Sweet with JD. I feel that she's gonna be a permanent marker in Judgment Day. But here's where the twist comes in. I'm gonna give you my answer of the who's gonna win first. Liv retains, but Dominic's is gonna turn on Mommy.
Whew. I don't know. I agree with Liv retaining because I think we're going to see more at Bad Blood.
Yes.
And I think it's setting up for a bigger show at Bad Blood, which is interesting because normally SummerSlam is like one of those quarterly events that is like the blow off or something. But I think just time and tragedy has led to SummerSlam being a lot of lift certain things up and project it to Bad Blood. I don't know what the heck's going to happen here. I honestly don't. I know she's going to walk away with a title, but the whole thing, I wonder, I'm along the lines of you, but I'm going to go a little different. Okay. Liv wins. Mommy goes full baby.
Yes.
But I don't think it's Dom that turns on Rhea. I think it's Finn turning on Rhea and Dom because I think Finn, it's going to come out that he's the one that gave Liv the phone number. He's the one that was causing the drama. I think he's been being overcast by Damian. I think he's been overcast by Rhea. When that Judgment Day started, it was freaking Edge and Finn, and he was saving a bunch of folks that like Rhea and people who kind of floated around, did nothing, and then you thought that Finn was going to kind of run the show there when he joined and stuff, and then he kind of got cast aside as like secondary to Rhea's rise and now even Damian's rise. Right. So I think there's some animosity. I think you're going to see the Judgment Day make a big change to being basically the tag team champions in Finn and JD, who, trainer, mentor thing, that whole thing, and Liv as a 3 package. And I think you're going to see Rhea and Dom get shifted out. And I think that's going to leave open, where does Damian go? Who does he side with?
So I'm gonna one up you here because, like I said, Triple H is about telling a story. And he likes to drag stories out. I do agree that Finn's going to probably Rhea's out. Ultimate, she's going full babyface. That's happening, no matter what. Dominic is not ready to go back down that babyface road. I mean, he has so much heat from the crowd that this isn't the time. Which is why I say that he's going to side with Liv because he likes that little taste that he got. But that leads to a future match of Finn versus Dom because of all the side dealings that's been going on that will get Dominic out. Then you're going to see the bigger picture, if it doesn't happen beforehand, that Demon Finn, and it has to be Demon Finn. It cannot be regular Finn Balor. It has to be Demon Finn Balor versus Damian Priest for the title. So now you've got Rhea out. You've got Damian out. You've got Dominic out. All baby faces, or maybe Dominic as a tweener.
Yeah.
I still like Dirty Dom. Like, I love the whole idea of Dirty Dom. Babyface Dom, you can't go back there yet.
No.
Like, that whole thing with him and his dad,
there's a whole bag of tricks that need to be played out there first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I still think he rolls with Judgment Day, kind of like in I don't want to say like a comedic role, but kind of like how R-Truth was just kind of rolling with them.
Oh, I love
that. So they just say, you know what, bro, this is it. You're done.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, we're fantasy booking at this point to some degree, but I think Liv wins. I think Rhea loses. I think Rhea full-fledged babyface. I think Dom sides with Rhea is really what I think happens. I think you have a ton of valid arguments there. I perceive that you're going to see a 6-man match or six-person match, and I think Damian, Dom, Rhea versus Finn, JD, and Liv at Bad Blood, at which point I perceive, and we'll talk more about this as we get close to Bad Blood, but I think if this happens, where the way I think it will this week, I think you're going to set it up so Dom is actually turns on Damian and Rhea at Bad Blood to go face, but really swerve back to the bad side. And, have been, because he's going to be booed for the next month regardless. People just hate him. Even if he's the good guy, they're going to hate him. There's nothing they're going to do to turn him back good enough. I think he's going to do that, go back there, and then he'll eventually get pushed off to the side, and then work with his dad at some point. But that's where I think it's going to go. I think.
I don't know about going back to working with Rey Mysterio, but like I said, future booking, like so future.
I'm talking not right away. I think there's a lot of work that can play around there.
I think what will happen in that scenario is that they cast Dom out so bad that he takes some time off. He recently got married and all that fun stuff. He comes back
for the hype
in a Mysterio mask.
Oh, I hope so. I hate that ugly son of a bitch's face. Sorry. I apologize for the language.
It's okay.
He should be under a mask. He should be under a mask. He has a face that's made for radio and luchador masks.
Fair enough. All right. So what's another agreement that Liv Morgan takes the W here?
Yep.
The only question is who's screwing who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can I get that video? Never mind.
Stage.
Next one. This is a huge one for me. This is a huge match. I mean, CM Punk versus McIntyre with special guest referee Seth Rollins.
So before we get into the predictions, okay, I see this exact match right here. Who was it? It was
Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Yes,
it's the exact same freaking match, dude.
Just substitute the players with who you have in front of you.
Shawn is Seth, Bret is CM Punk, and McIntyre is the Taker. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, Seth has got that flamboyant, HBK style. Punk has I love Punk. Don't take this away. I love Punk. I'm a huge Punk fan. I was so happy when he came back, but there's a lot of people that say he's the Bret Hart of this generation. Took his ball and went home for a while, just like Bret, that whole thing. And McIntyre is a big badass like The Undertaker. So it literally, from the moment this was being speculated, I saw the memes and everything all over for those three. It's a repeat of that. If this doesn't end with Seth going to swing a chair at Punk and hitting McIntyre and costing McIntyre the match, then they messed up and dropped the ball, and they give a throwback to all us long-term fans.
I don't know if it's going to be a chair. I'm thinking probably a super kick or a curb stomp, a pedigree. It's gonna be something.
Yeah.
But right now, out of all the things that I said earlier about, you can't draw this match out any longer. You can't. The milk's starting to spoil here. This match, this can go on for a while.
You're about money here.
The perfect seed right here to piss Drew McIntyre off even more by having Seth Rollins cause CM Punk to beat Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, they're building they're building one of the best heels in the business right now in McIntyre. He has the ability to go on to be a monster heel, and these two in CM Punk and Seth Rollins have their own uncovered. Going back to Survivor Series, you saw
going back way before. Left.
But I'm saying, in the recent run, you saw Seth and Punk, and that's supposed to be Mania, and that was supposed to be Mania this year, and it was a big money match, and you had Drew who's just sitting on the wayside wondering what's going to happen to him. Big contract discussions this year, signed his big deal. They're invested in McIntyre, and between these two, and then you throw in the variable that is of Seth Rollins. This has the money. I mean, the three of those two guys together, the things that can happen over the course of the next 6 months leading up to what could potentially be one of the co-main events for WrestleMania for the title, these three guys, that's money right there.
Yes, absolutely. This is just the dream of all dreams right here. It honestly, I CM Punk wins the match, but I can see this going either way. No contest. Drew McIntyre picks up a sloppy win. You just got to continue to build this momentum that you're on with these three men, and the triple threat match that's gonna come out of this is just gonna be insane.
I think the finish is false finish, both ways, kickouts, both guys. Then I can see, McIntyre getting up and, in Seth's face, you didn't count fast enough, something, shoving him around. Then him getting ready to turn around to Punk, and then Punk, hitting the go to sleep on McIntyre, or, Seth hit. Actually, I see him pushing Seth super kicking Drew McIntyre, him turning into a CM Punk go to sleep, Punk looking over at Seth going kind of like, well, shit happens. And then
Right.
Seth looking at him and going 1, 2, flipping him the bird or something. CM Punk getting up, standing up, super kick to CM Punk, no ref, both guys knocked out, Seth walking out, no winner. I declare this match does not have a winner. There will not be a winner in this match. It will be a no contest, and it will set up something for Bad Blood. I don't know where it'll go exactly, the order and who's fighting who. I don't know if you do some dynamic, WrestleMania, 10 blow off, one versus like, kind of playing that way.
It has to eventually end in a triple threat match.
Oh, it's got to. I think
the combination of these three men and just the Bad Blood in general, hence Bad Blood.
The only way this doesn't end in a triple threat at Mania between the three of these guys, because that's the money match between these three. The only way it doesn't happen is if there's an elimination chamber match prior to Mania that Seth, McIntyre, Punk are the final three guys, and we get a really good fight between the three of them where one of them walks away with a strap, and then one of the other two leads into Mania against the other one for the title. Mm-hmm. That's the way I see it going down.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way you draw this out for 9 months. I mean, This is outside of that, this is one of those you're going to end Survivor Series or elimination change somewhere much sooner. But yeah, I definitely see somewhere that someone's picking up a title here at some point, and you're gonna extend that out. Like I said, this is the only match that I can see you could just keep throwing different types of things at these three men to make it interesting,
right?
Keep people invested, and still get the ultimate payoff at the end.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I see it going. I see no contest. I see these guys having a big match. There's money behind this thing. It's not over yet. There's still too much money to be made here.
No contest. I mean, I'd still say Punk wins, but I can see it that way. But I'm going to stick to Punk.
Okay. Interesting. That brings us to the next match, Priest versus Gunther.
This one, I feel like you had an opportunity. If you really wanted to put the title on Gunther, you would have done it already. And to have Damian drop the title now, I just don't see the point. Like I said, a lot of this right now is built, in my opinion, is building up to Damian Priest versus Finn Balor for the title. So, as good as Gunther is, and had a great Intercontinental reign, King of the Ring. I mean, I just don't see him walking out with this title.
I'm gonna go Gunther.
Like Gunther. Okay. Let me ask this question: Do you have Gunther leaving Cleveland with the title around his waist?
I do. He's such a monster. There's too many babies over on Raw right now.
Oh, you got that right.
Damian's on the verge of being a baby face. I also don't see Damian as a legitimate world champion. He needs to change his look a little bit. He needs to cut that top off and stop looking like a messed up version of Kane and Undertaker, as they say. I just don't buy into him being a legitimate world champion right now. Call it the fact that there's a lot of heat on. A lot of fans complaining that he didn't kick out at Money in the Bank and he messed that up.
Well, the man was knocked out.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. It came out that had nothing to do with it. I thought he might have been knocked out too. It actually turns out that there was an issue in the back, and Triple H said it was a sound guy issue, right? Like they messed up the sound. Drew McIntyre's music was supposed to hit, and that was going to cause Seth to look up and kind of come out of the pin, and it was supposed to have the ref and everybody distracted enough to stop the count. Damian didn't kick out because he was waiting for the music, and the music was all of like a tenth of a second too late. Gotcha. They should have had him. They should have had that go at the 2 count instead of trying to cut it so close. But either way, I don't put that all on Damian, right? Like, I just don't see him as a legitimate champion, in my opinion. And you're taking the king of the ring, Gunther, the longest reigning intercontinental champion, and if you have him lose to Damian, I don't think a win for Damian against Gunther makes Damian's championship reign any more impactful. I mean, he cashed in and won it because of Punk. He won and retained it in Money in the Bank because of Punk and because of Drew McIntyre. Like, I don't think he's a transitional champion.
He is. And I'm gonna counter you, sorta. Gunther's not walking out with the title. If Dominic doesn't turn on Rhea, then Finn is going to come out and cause a DQ. Like I said, I think the bigger match right now is Finn Balor versus Damian Priest for the title. Like, that has to happen. One, Gunther doesn't lose the match. It's disqualification, so you still protect him in that sense. The only problem is you're going to put him on the back burner of the world title until you sort this issue out between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Finn has to have this title. He has to at this point. How long does he carry it? That no one cares about that, but he has to win it.
So
I just don't see Gunther walking out right now.
I'm just trying to look at the WWE pay-per-view schedule right now, because isn't there a pay-per-view coming up that's overseas soon, or did we already have all of those?
I think there's one more.
Bash in Berlin. That's what it is.
In November.
Yeah, man. Bash in Berlin, August 31st, end of this month, Germany. Gunther's winning, dude.
That's where he wins it there.
No, I think he wins it and brings it in. He wins it in.
Nah, he wins. He wins it there. If they don't book the Finn Balor versus Damian Priest for the title, like I said, I still see a DQ here. They rerun this in Berlin. Gunther wins in front of his crowd. The eruption that would happen from that win would be huge.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that could be. I mean, maybe he gets the win there. Maybe he defends it there. I don't know. I guess you could see. I could see your perspective with Finn costing Priest the match, getting this qualification. Gunther doesn't lose any credibility. He come back and say, "No, we're doing this. We do this in my hometown. I did it over there. Your guy saved your ass. Prove that you're a real champion."
Man. Rocky 4.
What's that?
Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Ivan comes in, whoops up on Creed. He's feeling all like, "Oh my God, I'm getting threatened by all the people here. We're gonna fight in Russia, in my home." You're just flipping it backwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. So I'm still gonna pick I'm gonna stick with my pick. Gunther wins. I'm gonna say Gunther wins. I'm sticking with that. I hope he walks out with the title. But I could see your side of it, that Gunther wins, but Priest retains the title. So that will again, man, I'm telling you, then that means that you're not getting Finn versus Priest for the title. That means Gunther's walking out with the title, and you're going to see Priest and Finn at Bad Blood for just a grudge match. And you're going to see Gunther walk into Bad Blood with the title after winning it in Germany. If he doesn't win it this time, he's winning it in Germany. Like, there's no doubt in my mind on that.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, that is the best. In my opinion, that's the best place for him to win it.
Yeah,
like I said, you can protect them any way you want, but at the end of the day, if that is the outcome, that's where it happens at.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I can see that. But either way, I'm still going Gunther on the win. That brings us to the main event.
All right. Here's my before we get started. Let me ask you this one question.
No.
Damn it.
I think I know what you're going to ask me, and I'm going to say no. But go ahead.
The question is, does Roman come back in the main event?
I knew that's the question. I don't think so.
Then here's my opinion. This isn't the main event. Rhea versus Liv will end up being the main event. And you will have some form of you will have some screwy finish by someone in that match. Also keep in mind,
So wait.
Jey Uso is not on this card.
Wait, so let's take a step back for a second. You said that. Are you saying that if Roman doesn't appear at SummerSlam, then this will not be the main event? Is that what you're kind of saying? Or are you just saying that Roman's not going to be there?
If Roman doesn't show up, this match is not the main event.
Okay. I disagree with that.
Rhea versus Liv will be.
I disagree. Roman doesn't show up,
then this match, I mean, it's just a match now. Solo's not winning the title. We all know this.
So I think your point. I don't think Roman's going to be there. I just don't. Like, that's my thing. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Roman's going to be there?
Yes.
Okay.
At the end.
Okay.
When it's all said and done, like I said, I don't think he's going to interfere. I don't think he's going to be involved in the match at all. Like I said, Jacob is going to be out there. I think, because like I said, Jimmy Uso has been on the shelf for a while. I think he comes back. Jey Uso is not on the card at all. So I think it gets to a point where, Jacob's beating Jimmy up so bad that Jey comes back. And then, Cody gets the win because Cody's winning. Roman at the end. The music hits. He stands on the stage with a stare down. Not at Cody, but at this new bloodline.
I personally think that doesn't. I don't think Roman shows up for SummerSlam. I don't think it's needed. I think what happens here is, I think you're right. If Roman doesn't show up, this isn't your main event. I think the main event isn't even a world title match. Male, female.
Okay.
I think Seth, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre are the main event of SummerSlam this year. That's what I think.
I can agree with that.
Damian and Gunther are not a main event match at SummerSlam. There are two matches on this card that are main event right now. That is Solo and Rhodes, because of the world title and because of Rhodes and because of the bloodline background. And it's Punk versus McIntyre that are the main events of this SummerSlam. So I think you're right that this is not the main event, because I do not think Roman's going to show up. And I think that Punk closes out the show, leaving that open, whatever happens thing. That said, I don't think Roman comes back until Bad Blood. I think he comes out of Bad Blood. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I think very much what happens is, I think before Roman comes back, I think you're going to see Jimmy and Jey start to kind of do their things. Then Roman's going to come back at Bad Blood. You might even have a Jey and Jimmy versus the tag titles at Bad Blood, and Solo interferes and Jacob interferes and all that mess happens. And I think that you're going to have a situation where Roman walks out on the stage at the end of the show, never even steps foot in the ring, and just throws the one finger up, acknowledge me, right? And I think you have people decide where they stand in that moment, leaving people wondering. And I think that happens at Bad Blood. I think you're ahead. I think you're 2 months too soon on that. I think there's more to drag out here and more to establish Solo as a.
Well, you got to remember what's happening here. So there are a bunch of different back and side angles happening. One, we know who's pulling Solo strings right now. This is The Rock. We know this.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just the build up to Survivor Series. That is your 4-on-4, or however way they build this out. I think it's gonna be 5-on-5. I don't know how they're gonna treat Roman for the fifth person. Or shit, I don't even know how they're gonna do it for the fourth and fifth person. Actually.
Oh, Sami Zayn, he's not the Intercontinental Champion. Bring back also old Oos. They've been keeping Jay and him close enough the last couple weeks.
You have, but they also got Zilla.
Yeah,
he's ready to come in. It's just a matter of when. I mean, Sami Zayn coming back as the honorary Uso would make. I mean, it makes sense, but I just don't. For the sake of this news story, I don't see his interjection. I see it truly as a bloodline versus bloodline, like a true Samoan blood in a Survivor Series match.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, I think you could see Sami go in there, but I mean, that's Survivor Series, and you're right. But I think
it could be 4-4 though.
I think this is the opportunity that there is somebody that interferes in this match. I do not. Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's just not Roman.
Oh, Jacob's. This has got Jacob written all over it.
Is Randy really hurt?
Really hurt? Or storyline hurt?
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
do I see a situation where we need a really bad heel for Randy or for Cody? And how are you going to get Randy over as the bad guy? You have him come out. He's been getting the crap beat out of him. And you need to move Cody away from Solo. You need to move Cody away from the bloodline for a little bit so that they can fester and do their stuff. The way you do that is during the match, Jacob Fatu involved in it. You know, you could have the other guys. You could have Zolo or whatever the other guy's name is, Umaga-san. You could have those guys. You could have another one debut. And then all of a sudden, Randy Orton's music hits. Fans are thinking Roman might show up. Randy comes out, tosses a couple of the bloodline aside, slides in, boom, lays an RKO on Cody at the end of the match, right? Like, match is over,
Okay. I was kind of wondering where you were going with that.
He's not costing him the title because he wants the title.
Yeah.
He was subtly looking at it during every opportunity that him and Cody have been around each other. So you move him away from Kevin Owens. You move heck, maybe you even throw Kevin Owens come out there to help. Maybe the first thing he does is, Kevin comes out. He's laying out some of the bloodline. Randy comes out to add some reinforcement. Randy doesn't care for the bloodline, so he'll hit them. He's not in alliance with them. He helps them. Rhodes gets his match. Kevin, him standing there. Randy, boom. Kevin Owens, boom. Cody Rhodes, boom. RKO'd both of them. He's a bad guy now. You now set up the Kevin Owens, Randy, and you set up Kevin, Rhodes versus Randy for next month or Bad Blood, because Bad Blood is where they're going, and I think that's what you do.
I like the idea.
I think they'll shock you. I do not think Roman appears yet, and I think that you'd be better off having Randy turn heel, because who is your other heel for Cody to go against? And it's not Paul. It's not Logan Paul. He's not that guy. He's not a guy that can run he's not the guy that's going to put Cody over as the baby that they need him to be as the champion right now. But you can have Cody hold the title and have that animosity feud between him and Randy that just blows it up, and they can do, they can run SmackDown together that way for a little bit. And again, that pulls and peels that layer of the bloodline away from it for a little while, right? I think that you're going to have Roman versus Rock at Mania. I think you're going to have Cody versus Randy at Mania. I think you're going to have Seth versus Punk at Mania, maybe Drew involved in that, a triple threat. Those are your three big things at Mania. How do you get there? I think this is the beginning of how you get there. I don't think the bloodline piece is pulled out just yet. That's my thought.
Well, I guess we're going to have to find out this Saturday, 7 o'clock Eastern, for the kickoff show on Peacock. You
didn't pick your winner.
Oh, you can you? How do you do that? I didn't pick my winner.
You didn't pick your winner. You didn't say whether.
Cody's winning.
Okay, you didn't say.
Cody's winning.
But no, we slid into something else too, which I think was a great play in there accidentally. That was kind of wonderful, if I do say so myself.
Yes, very dope.
So, how can you compete against us? Well, you can, put your, selections for your matches head to head in the chat, while you're, following this video. But more importantly, there's a website out there we're going to be sharing. You should be able to find it in the description. It's ProWrestlingSheets.com. We have a group out there for the the 1-2 Kickout podcast. And what we have is they promote a bunch of, the easiest way to align it is it's kind of like a prop bet sheet that they do for all of the events. And we talked about this, right, Black Knight, is what we're going to do is we're each going to submit our sheets. Anyone who joins our faction, which is the 1-2 Kickout podcast group on there, you can submit your sheets and your submissions for the prop bets, pick the winners, pick how they win, kickouts, things. Pro Wrestling Sheets will do all the calculations for us, and we can see who won. We'll come back and recap SummerSlam, I think sometime next week. And then what we will do is we'll see who from the group had the best count. We'll also review our picks head-to-head that we've just done on this show. But then additionally, we'll keep this going and trending into future events, premium live events, other shows. Pro Wrestling Sheets does a great job with all of that. And maybe later on this year, maybe early next year, we could do a contest giveaway for all those that participate. Who's leading the pack? Yep. I'd love to give myself something cool.
I would. That would be nice. I can only wonder what, though. But here's your chance. If you want to go against me and Mr. Wonderful, get those picks in by Saturday before kickoff. Yeah, the kickoff show.
Before start time.
Yeah, whatever, same thing.
Yep.
And we will see you guys on the after show, which will probably be sometime early next week. So make sure you guys do all the things YouTube wants you to do. Hit the like, subscribe to the 1-2 Kickout podcast. Leave your comments. Do you agree with what we're saying? Do you think maybe we're wrong? We'd love to hear what you have to say. So, signing off, I am Black Knight. Once again, half owner of HelloDopeToys.com with my co-host, Mr. Wonderful. Hopefully he gets the Hexastack.com coming up soon. And we will see you guys again on the 1-2. Oh, he kicked out.
Kick out.
We'll see you on the next one.